Hi everyone, we're here live with Lee Wiseman in his house, in his sukkah. You can watch the other video about what's a sukkah. And I am visiting him, and I stayed with him tonight in his house, yesterday night in his house. And he was kind enough to get me really nice breakfast and dinner and everything, and really nice comfortable room. So kind of you, Lee.
My pleasure.
And so I thought we would do a small live broadcast, even though it's 1:20 in the morning in Pakistan. But we got
Because the usage is more.
yeah, we have 87 viewers now. 87.
Although my house is really a mess.
We'll just hide your house.
Yeah.
Going.
Find my house. I'll make you a spot here.
Okay.
We're gonna.
So we have a lot of questions already. 82 viewers. We're live. Oh, I didn't expect this, but okay. Let me read you the questions. Number 1. How many Jews in Israel thinks that Muslims are not terrorists? Let's skip that question.
No, I think that's.
You answered that one.
Yeah, I don't know, how many.
Why they don't marry non-Jew?
So I think the main reason is because if you want to live a Jewish life, right, and you want to follow all the practices of Judaism, you want to be with somebody who wants to share those very same things. That's why I would say, a person who is a serious Muslim would probably want to marry somebody who's a serious Muslim too, so that they could be doing the same things together.
Okay. Jihadi Jew, hello from Abu Dhabi, from Farouk Naeem Qadri.
Hi.
Okay. Bilal Jamil says, why Hitler says that I left some so that the world could observe. Why do that with them?
Yeah, because he's an idiot.
Kamran Khalid says, are Jews hate Muslims? We already answered that.
Already answered that, but the answer is obviously I don't.
Okay, MK Trader, CMT Specialist, whatever that means. How are you?
Thank God, Baruch Hashem.
Awais Khan, do you really like Jews?
Is that
I don't know if that is my question.
Is that for you or for me?
Yeah, I like everybody, dude. I love everyone.
I really like Jews too.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have one.
Okay, cool. Safir Saifi. Hi guys, how are you? I'm pretty good.
Thank God, good.
Yeah. Mudassir Makhdoom, like you, HRU. Rehan Fasi, Shalom.
Shalom.
Aziz Ullah, are you going to be? Why? Don't know what that means, Aziz bhai. Please write it again. Muhammad Kamran Khalid, literature of Judaism in Urdu. Where do I get it from? Interesting question.
I have no idea. That's interesting. I imagine there must be.
No, never.
No?
I wouldn't guess that there would be.
That's interesting. I don't know.
Well, ask one of those, rich pockets to make some.
It's interesting. I do know.
There should be at least a 101.
I do know that there was a Jewish prayer book in Urdu because I've actually seen it. There was a Jewish prayer book that was translated into Urdu, Because I actually saw it in when I was in Mumbai years ago. I actually saw one that's translated into Urdu. So there are such things.
Well, when I was in Miami synagogue, there was one guy who was looking for sponsorship for some of the content he made.
Mhm.
And I would guess if somebody made a Jewish 101 in Urdu, it has to be a Jewish guy who has to do it, because
Right.
if it's translated or done by a Muslim guy, I don't think it's going to be the same thing.
Right.
So I would strongly recommend that somebody should look into that. It will be very helpful. Naim Bukhari, okay. Sir, my question is, what are views of Jews about humanity and peace?
Well,
Okay.
that's a reasonable question. That's a reasonable question. I mean, the purpose of humanity, right? When God created Adam, who was the first man, what did he say to him? He said that he gave the world over to him to guard it and to keep it safe and to build peace. So making peace and making a peaceful world is what the common mission of humanity is. That's what we're here for.
Okay. Why do religious people hate each other? Is asked by Ghulam Mustafa Chaudhry.
Oh, I wish I knew. I think it's because we think we have the exclusive truth. You know, we think that we know the truth and nobody else knows, and it becomes a competition. And I like actually what the Quran says about this, that we should be competing in righteousness. You know, better we should be competing in good deeds than fighting with each other about which one knows better. Don't worry about what we know. Let's do better.
Okay. It keeps zooming in and out when you shake your hand. So.
Okay.
Sardar Abdul Hai Gujjar. Where are you, Sergi?
Where am I? I'm in Irvine, California.
Okay, Google that, brother, so you can see where exactly we are.
Just 60 miles south of Los Angeles.
Okay. Azizullah, are you going to be a Jew?
Am I going to be a Jew? I already am a Jew.
Aziz bhai, I have no plan, and he's already a Jew, so I hope that answers. Sardar Abdul Hai, who? I don't know. Saddam Bashir, hi from Dubai, Saddam. Hi, Saddam Hussein. Saddam Bashir, sorry. Jamil Ahmed, Allah bless you from both my legends. Jamil Ahmed, okay, thank you.
Ameen.
Kadir Bhatti, are any rough draft about your upcoming tasks or goals? I don't know who the question is, but go ahead, Lee, if you have any.
Not my upcoming things, but if you want to, there's a Facebook group called Abraham's Tent, and if you look in there, often I post, or if you follow me, I usually post what it is that I'm doing, or follow me on Twitter at Jihadi Jew, and you can find out what I'm up to.
Okay, Mustafa Zedi, nice curly hair. What's with the curly hair thing?
The curly hair thing?
Yeah.
It's gang signs. No. The Torah says it was probably a practice of ancient idolatrous people, of ancient idolaters, to shave the sides of your head. So the Torah says not to shave the sides of your head. So in order to show our enthusiasm for the commandment not to shave the sides of our head, we grow the hair long. Only a few communities do that. And it functions a little bit like, as I said, gang signs. You can see somebody else has and say, one of my people. You know? It's like wearing this kind of hat or that kind of hat. And
Farrukh Naeem Qadri, how important is humor in spirituality? Love your tweets and sense of humor.
Humor is really, really, really important. It's very, very important. First of all, it's important to be happy. Right? Being happy there is no spirituality without being happy. Right? God put us in this world to be happy, not to be miserable creatures. So humor is our first line of defense for being happy. That's the first. The second is, what humor is often about is seeing that the world is kind of an absurd place. You know, seeing that the world is a kind of place that doesn't make any sense. And that is a very important insight. It's a very important spiritual insight to understand that the world is kind of a funny place, and to be able to deal with that instead of dealing it in a sad way.
Okay. Thank you for that interesting question, Farooq Naeem Qadiri. Then we have Khalid Fawad.
Oh, and thank you for saying nice things about my tweets and things. I appreciate it.
Fawad Kamil, congratulations from Egypt. We wish you all good luck.
Thank you so much. I have a special love of Egypt. My great grandfather was from Alexandria.
Cool. Was it Alexander the Great?
No.
Okay. Abdullah Chauhan says, it's true world media controlled by Jewish people?
I'm talking to you on an iPhone, so obviously, if I don't know what to say. If I owned the major televisions, not to my knowledge, and nobody sends me a check.
No, not just you, but in general, the perception is
There are a lot of Jews in media because there are a lot of Jews who are educated and interested in the arts, but I don't think there's a Jewish agenda. Most Jews have no particular connection. In fact, most Jews don't have a particular connection to Judaism. It's just kind of their ethnic identity. So I don't think there's any kind of Jewish conspiracy in the media.
so that like Fox owner is not Jewish.
No, he for sure. That's what is that? What's his face? Who is the Fox owner?
That old guy from Australia.
Murdock. No, Murdock is not Jewish.
Oh,
At all. Actually, yeah, they always accuse him of being Jewish, but the guy is like not. I don't think the guy has like an ounce of Jewish blood in him.
So we have 240 live viewers right now.
Wow.
That's crazy number.
Awesome.
I would request all of you who are watching this to please share this on your wall while we're doing this, so we can break a record of at least going to 1,000 people live viewers if we can, and ask people to tune in live on this broadcast as we speak, so we can keep on doing these more. Thank you so much. Okay, next question. Abdullah Javed. I want to ask, what is the difference between Judaism and Zionism?
It's a funny question because they're two very different things that are related to each other. So Judaism is an ancient religion that began with the teachings of Abraham and continued with the teachings of Moses and was finally completed with the teachings of Moses and expanded on through the oral law that was given to Moses and passed down to the rabbis. That's Judaism. Zionism is Jewish nationalism. It's the idea that Jews should have their own country. Now there is in Judaism a very strong emphasis on the land of Israel as a holy land. So there is a religious component to Zionism in the sense that Israel is not just some place. It's not like Europe, or it's not like some other place. It's a place which is holy to us, and we have special obligations that only apply in the land of Israel, and there's certain restrictions that only apply in the land of Israel, and that to go to the land of Israel, even if you are not a Zionist, to go to the land of Israel is a holy thing, an obligation. In ancient times, there was a pilgrimage 3 times a year, which was called Chag, related to the word Hajj. That we would go to Jerusalem, and that was the center of our religion. Zionism, as it exists now, means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. There are lots of different kinds of Zionism, and I would say that if you meet a Zionist, you want to talk to them, you want to find out what they mean by it before you judge them, because there are lots of different meanings to that word Zionism too. And sometimes Zionism is connected to Judaism in people's minds, and sometimes it's not at all. There are people who are completely secular Zionists, have no interest in Judaism as a religion. There's some people who are religious Zionists, for whom to live in the land of Israel is a religious obligation. They connect the state to all sorts of religious things. That's a long answer to a short question.
Thank you. Hasnan Malik says, I love you.
I love you too. I don't know you yet, but if I did, I'll bet I love you.
Okay. So send him an inbox saying, I love you, Mudassir. Hassan Malik. And why do you love him?
Yeah, better.
Yeah. Mudassir AK, why there is so much hate for Muslims? Mudassir AK, are you AK-47? Why are you sending a question like that? So if you put your full name, it'll help. I'm sorry about that. AK-47 thing if it hurts you, but helps understand who you are and your ethnicity by having your full name there. Why is there so much hate for Muslims? Mudassir, I want you to re-ask the question, why is there so much hate for a Muslim in the world or in the Jewish world, or what exactly do you mean by that? Yeah. Do you believe in the time travel? I mean, there's any sign of time travel in Torah? Mir Behroz.
Oh, that's interesting.
Sorry.
Is there any stories or anything about time travel? I don't think so. We have a lot of wild stories. I don't remember anything about time travel. I can't think of a single one about time travel, but I could be wrong. There could be a story about time travel, not that I know of. It's a great question, though.
Okay.
I know I'm missing one. I'm sure there is.
Okay, Sardar Abdul Haj Ghussar. Who hate Muslims? I don't know what that means. You have to specify more, Sardar भाई जरा खुल के सवाल कीजिए जाके समझ में आए. Zaki Farooq Ghori, how can we create pluralism between Islam and Judaism? Good question.
I think we already have pluralism, in a sense. The fact is that the overlap between what Jews and Muslims believe, and even more important, what Jews and Muslims believe about what makes a good person, is huge. Right? We agree on 90% and we fight over 10%. If we focused on the 10%, look at what we have in common, okay? Jews and Muslims believe that a person has to have absolute integrity with money and business. We believe that violence should only be used as a last resort and never as a first resort. We believe that there's one God. We believe that there's one God, and that a person can never worship anything else. We believe that God relates to man through law. We believe that God wants us to regulate what we eat and how we run our family lives. And so we could make a list of all the things that we have in common. So if we focus on the things that we have in common, I think we already have it. Just the question of what's going on in our heads.
Thank you. Irfanullah Khan, why do we die?
I don't know, but I know that when if I could talk to my Creator, that might be one of the first questions I might ask.
Well,
I have a feeling.
Oh.
I have a feeling. My feeling is that if we didn't know that we would die, we would never be motivated to do anything now. I know that I'm a terrible procrastinator. I put things off. If I really thought that I was going to be here forever, I would do nothing.
Okay. Irfanullah Khan, there is a nice book called Singularity is Near and Abundance. You might want to check them out. And that might change your answer for everyone, for what life is. There is another question by my favorite Jewish guy from Irvine, actually, from Orange County. He lives in Finland now. He's always mocking us, which is great. Gives us content to talk about.
Okay.
His name is Kenneth Rabin, and he says, Muslims are just wannabe Jews, trying to force their way into their legacy. But Muslims, you do not need to do this. As according to the Jewish beliefs, there are righteous Gentiles.
Righteous Gentiles.
The Gentiles, Gentiles. All good people have a place in the hereafter.
Right. So what he's saying is that according to Jewish teaching, there are essentially two legitimate religions in the world. Right? One is Judaism, which is a religion that is a specific discipline for a specific group of people. Right? God took this group of people and said, okay, this is your discipline, this is what you're going to do. And then for the rest of humanity, he said, there are 7 basic laws that you have to cover. There are 7 basic things. So no idolatry, no stealing, no adultery, and so forth, no animal cruelty, and establishing courts, and so forth. Basics of morality and believing in one God. He says if you do that, then for the rest of humanity, then you have fulfilled your obligation to God. So what he's saying is, well, you don't need to be Muslim. You could, but the fact is that a person who is, as I understand it, a person who is a Muslim, a person who believes in one God, and would be following all the tenets of Islam, would qualify as a righteous Gentile. Um, I mean, at least provided that they were really doing it in the way they should do it. I mean, obviously, if you're killing innocent people or you're doing anything else that's stealing from people or you're cheating on your wife, then you don't qualify. But if you're really doing it, then you would be a righteous Gentile. So there's no reason why a person who is not Jewish should have no religion. That's not the point. There's as long as whatever religion that they're doing covers those things, provides basic morality and a belief in one God, then they have the world to come. They have salvation.
Thank you so much. We have 300 viewers now. Thank you all who are watching live for watching this. It's really late, but it's still you're watching it. Thank you, and please share this on your wall and ask your friends to watch it so that we can have more viewers on here. And if you have really buddies, you can call them up and say, "Hey, wake up! What's this Jewish guy on live going on?" And ask him questions and all.
And Ken, tell your friends in Finland.
Yeah. Abdullah Chauhan is asking, is in Israel Jews can get loan without interest?
Israeli, as I understand it, Israeli banking works on. It's a little bit like Sharia compliant banking. It works on a kind of a workaround. Instead of getting interest, you become an investor in the bank, and the bank pays you dividends. So the truth is, you're gonna get back about what you would get if it were interest, but you're getting it back in the form of dividends.
All right. Mohammed Farooq Naeem Qadri from Dubai is asking, what do you believe about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a practicing Jew?
It's interesting. Judaism never. People often say, "What does Judaism say about Muhammad?" And the answer is nothing, really, because for us it's really irrelevant in the sense that once the law of Moses was given, the Torah says over and over again, the law will never change. The law will never change for you, and so you never. So for us, it's if another person who claims to be a prophet comes and says this is something which is going to this changes the law of Moses. For us, it's irrelevant because we don't change. We continue to practice the law of Moses and to relate to God through the law of Moses. Having said that, I've this is just me personally, and I don't know whether it's as a Jew, it's just as me. But I've come to spend a lot of time with Muslims, and so I get to hear about the Muhammad that most Muslims know. I get to hear about the Muhammad who practiced acts of kindness, who championed gentleness. So I've actually learned a lot and come to really, I hope, understand more about him and to be able to respect him and to really understand more about how it is that Muslims relate to him. And a Jewish scholar, the Rambam, said about Islam and about Christianity both that these were important developments in human history in order to spread really important ideas about religion. The idea that so many people in the world believe in one God and believe in this incredible discipline of praying 5 times a day, and this incredible disciplines of fasting, and that's an awesome, amazing thing, and an amazing accomplishment.
Thank you for asking that beautiful question, Farouk. Which leads me to asking personally a question. So who is Messiah?
We'll find out.
Now, how do you know who would be the Messiah?
Because everybody will agree. And since it'll be the only thing that everybody agrees upon ever, we'll know. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully today.
Okay. Muhammad Laik from India is asking how to solve problems of Israel and Palestine.
I don't have any good solutions. I do know that the solutions are going to have to come from Israelis and Palestinians. and not from anybody else, and that the solutions are going to have to come from people actually caring about one another. That's the first step, is that somehow or another Israelis and Palestinians have to find a way to actually care what happens to the other. Because until that, it's just going to be negotiation over power and land and place, and it's going to be nothing but anger and regret and retaliation. So
How do we do that?
I don't know.
We discussed that earlier.
Yeah, we did discuss it earlier. I think that the first step is for anybody who feels that they are willing and able to take the first step to start to meet people and to start engaging each other as human beings and communicating as human beings. Set the slogans aside, set all the bumper stickers and all those things aside, and start to actually communicate with each other and to communicate from the heart. We have an expression, words from the heart enter the heart. And if people speak from the heart, my experience has been that when people talk to me from their heart, I hear them.
So, like, the answer, my side, as usual, would be, if you know, or anybody who is watching, if you know anybody from Israel, introduce them to anybody from Palestine. And if you know anybody from Palestine, introduce them to a person from Israel. And if that is difficult to do, introduce them to Lee or to me or to Laik. We will talk to them, because initially when people start talking to different kinds of groups, they're not comfortable. Most Palestinians are not comfortable in talking with anyone. They don't friend anyone. There is a huge mistrust of human beings in their hearts. So if you as a Muslim can become a friend with a Palestinian who is living in Palestine, Gaza or Ramallah or the West Bank, start with that, and then later on you can introduce them to a person in Israel so they can actually pour their hearts out. Another thing we talked about earlier was for them to make videos and pour their hearts out and tell the world what exactly is it that they're feeling, and what exactly is it that, how do they feel, how exactly do they feel about the world. Just pour their hearts out and make a video. It doesn't have to be a popular video. Just share it on your wall and let the world see what you feel like, and that's all. Like when somebody meets you like a friend. Farooq Naeem Qadri from Dubai is again asking, who is your favorite Muslim author and why?
Oh, that's a really good question.
You said Rumi is one.
Right. So I'm a big fan of Rumi. There's also the Yemenite Sufi Imam al-Haddad was very, very interesting. I've read some things by translations, including a very good Hebrew translation of Abdul Qadir Jilani, founder of the Qadri Sufis. I also read Tariq Ramadan's In the Footsteps of the Prophet, which I thought was an amazing book.
He's here somewhere, right?
Actual book. He's in California.
He's in Orange County somewhere.
Yeah. And I thought that was a really interesting book. I'm very interested in the folks from Zaytuna Institute, from Sheikh Hamza Yusuf, and Zaid Shakir, which I think produce some very, very, very nice things. And I keep my eyes open. I learn
You
from
said you like
people.
Nouman Ali Khan.
And Nouman Ali Khan, I watch him sometimes, and yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Rizvan Khan from Dubai, he's an ex-armyite. He's asking, what Jewish people think about Muslim and especially Pakistan?
I think most Jews don't know anything about Pakistan.
Do they know about Islam?
And most Jews don't know much about Islam. I mean, listen, I think what's remarkable is that Jews and Muslims basically know the same thing about each other. They know that somehow or another we're supposed to be enemies. But they don't know why, and they just know that the other side wants to kill them, but they don't know why. And I think the fact is that most people are just acting, if they have an opinion, it's an opinion out of ignorance. And those people who do know something about Islam, for the most part, are going to have a sense of understanding and realize that we have a tremendous amount in common.
So Rizwan Khan bhai, you should definitely talk with Brother Lee, because you're a very learned gentleman yourself, and by inboxing him and telling him why you want to discuss, because I know you have a lot of questions and you're very strong on your opinions. So it will be very helpful for you to talk to him. Thank you so much for asking the question and taking the time. Qazi Salim is asking if any Muslims has this type of beard, then we call him a terrorist.
Yeah, it's probably true.
But if you have the same beard, when you get respect, oh, I don't know about that, but why this double standard of Western society? Could you please answer this to me, please?
Yeah, I'm not sure I always get such respect, but I'll take your word for it. I mean, some people look at the beard and have respect, and some people think I'm a religious fanatic. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
So
I would suggest, Brother Qazi Saeed, to make more foreigner friends so you can actually see that it's actually seen the same way. And if he was dressed up, I'm sure he would be pulled up at the airport also. And it's the same. It's just in our heads. We have been taught misinformation. People who have a beard and a similar sense of humor, they never get pulled up. Okay.
the main thing is not to take your beard too seriously. I think when you have a religious look, you want to be very careful not to take yourself too seriously. That's the biggest mistake. Is to think that somehow or another the beard makes the man. Okay, I'm a human being with a nice big beard. That doesn't make me anything.
Okay. Raza Arain is asking why Jews occupied Palestine, why they don't believe in humanity, why they're killing Muslims there, why Muslims are not allowed to offer prayers in Masjid al-Aqsa. Raza Arain, I don't know how many people in Palestine you know. Before I ask Lee to answer that question, I would strongly recommend you to make like 5 Palestinian and 5 Israeli friends so you can actually know what's happening. And over to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's why Jews chose to settle in Israel, Palestine, why they chose to settle there is complicated. Partially it was because it was the British, and the British offered the opportunity to do it, and it's our holy land, and there was always a Jewish population there, and people dreamed. I mean, when we pray 3 times a day, we pray to return to the land of Israel. That's not new. That's for the last 2,000 years. So, and being outside the land of Israel is supposed to be something that's so painful for us that we're supposed to wake up in the middle of the night and pray and cry to return to the land of Israel. So so that it's that particular place is not really surprising. Then there were lots of historical reasons why it is that Jews returned there, and you can certainly look those up and try to understand the history for yourself. I suggest you look at different sources on both sides or all sides so that you get a kind of complete picture of that. What was the other question?
Why Jews occupied Palestine?
Well, that was occupying Palestine.
Why do they don't believe in humanity?
Jews do believe in humanity. I mean, Jews do believe in humanity, but like everybody else, we also have self-interest, and different Jews have different sense of what that self-interest is, and I'm sure that Pakistanis have believe in humanity too, but they don't always believe in humanity when it comes to Indians. They may not believe in humanity when it comes to this group or that group at that moment. So it would be wonderful if we all lived up to our best values all the time. Unfortunately, we don't all live up to our best values all the time. What was the other question?
Why they are killing Muslims there?
I think that the conflict in the Holy Land is not a religious conflict. It's a conflict between two people who are both claiming one land, and it's not killing Muslims. It's trying to gain control over a piece of land. It's two very different things. As far as Al-Aqsa is concerned, I don't know much about what goes on in Al-Aqsa on the ground. I do know that there's been all sorts of contention going on there. Um, so I know about as much about that as you do because I read the same news that you do. So I don't really understand all the issues there.
So anybody who is watching who can connect him to more people from near Masjid al-Aqsa, it would be great to connect Reza Arai and also Lee Wiseman from that area. I know, but that my friend Tabak and another guy and my friend Titos, I don't know their real name, but that's what they use, live near there, so they can maybe connect to you. But they really refuse to talk to anybody who's Jewish. Daniel Yassin Gorowala is asking, what do you think about personality of Prophet Muhammad? Daniel, he already answered that. When the video ends, you can play it again and you can watch it and you will see the answer. Farooq Naeem Qadri is asking, what are the 3 best ways to work towards peace and harmony between Jews and Muslims?
3 best ways.
3 ways.
3 ways. Okay, I'm going to go with 3 best. I think the first is to educate yourself. And I mean that for Jews and for Muslims. The first thing is to actually start to know something about each other, to set aside what you think you know and really try to find out. The second is to make a connection with somebody who you can bring your questions to, who you can develop a relationship with, and who you're able to do that. And the third would be is hospitality. We know that the Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, never preached. We believe in Judaism that he never preached. What he did is he invited people into his home.
Which prophet?
Ibrahim. That he didn't preach to people. He invited them into his home and he discussed God over the table, over food. And I think that hospitality.
That's the sunnah you're following.
Yeah, that's the sunnah I follow. Yeah, and that making those kinds of connections, when people start to develop human connections with each other and they start caring about each other, then the rest is easy. If I don't care about you, then I'm just going to be seeking my welfare. You're seeking your welfare. We're never going to make anything decent.
So Farooq, I hope you got the answer, and I hope that you would invite Lee soon to Dubai to come and host him for dinner at your home. And till that happens, you can reach out to other people in Israel. You can find a lot of them in my friend list. You can type Katz. Arnon Katz is one of them. I know you're a very high intellectual person, so I think Arnon will enjoy your conversation, and so will Shamol. Shamol Kam, how do you say his last name?
I don't remember his name.
Oh,
yeah.
Shamul Kam. I always have difficulty, brother, in your name. I'm sorry. So, yeah, these 2 guys, you should invite them and have a dinner over Skype if you can, to start off with, if you can't do it in person, right?
Yeah, that's great, actually.
Yeah. There is a website for dinner over Skype. This guy started this campaign. Cool. Yeah. Talal Jamil Qazi, how can one learn Hebrew?
I'm sure there are some really good online resources for that. If you message me, I'll try to look for some for you. I mean, it's pretty easy. And if you know Arabic, if you know Arabic already, then you're 3/4 of the way there.
Cool. Srinivas Gangisetti, I think he's an Indian guy. He's asking.
Srinivas. Tamil theriyuma ungalku? Konjam.
Okay.
Tamil badhu korukren.
So for those who didn't understand what that was Tamil language. He is fluent in Tamil and Sanskrit and in English and in Hebrew. Well, not so much in Hebrew, but Tamil.
Not in modern Hebrew.
Yeah. So we should make a video about giving laptops in Tamil, right? That would be cool. Okay. Is it Allah asked in Quran to kill others who does not hurt you or attack you on any innocent person?
I hope you know the answer to that is no.
Yeah, well, if he knew, he wouldn't ask.
Okay.
Well, maybe he did, so.
Well, you're welcome to look at those verses yourself. but I think you'll find that the Quran does not endorse offensive war, but defensive war.
Okay. Muhammad Ismail from somewhere, I don't know. Shit, I don't know English. Okay. Well,
Okay, that
learn
solves that
somebody.
problem.
Learn some, Ismail. You make some American friends and make some English speaking friends, and I'm sure you will learn English very quickly. Muhammad Javad, are you tired yet?
No, yeah, go ahead.
It's 457 viewers live.
Okay, well,
It's I wasn't expecting this at all, but
okay.
I'm glad people are curious about this subject. What are your views about Muslims? Muhammad Javad Khalil is asking that.
I spend a lot of my free time with Muslims. So
Almost every week.
So yeah, we have a lot of Muslim friends, a lot of Muslim guests, and I feel like we have a very strong family resemblance and connection. I feel like they're the people who I tend to feel are kind of like on the same page with us in terms of what we think is important in the world. So
Okay. Omar Qureshi asked the exact same question. Thank you for asking that, Umar. Shah Fahad is asking, are you Jewish?
Sure am. Although it's hard to tell because I'm wearing a salwar kameez today, so I'm looking a little daisy today, but I'm definitely Jewish.
Oh, cool. Shah Fahad, thank you for that question. All of you, again, please share this post if you can on your wall and ask your friends to join us so we can ask more interesting questions. What is media? Was it on the 20th of September? Hamad Mukati.
Oh, what is Shemitah?
Yeah, he wrote Shemitah.
Shemitah. So Shemitah is really interesting. Shemitah is the idea that in the land of Israel, once in 7 years, so 1 year out of 7 years, you don't farm. You actually don't farm. You actually let the land go. It's a kind of resting period, just like we have like the Sabbath every 7 days. The land gets a Sabbath every 7 years, and so religious farmers in Israel will not farm in the same way, in the normal way that they would farm, and that's called the Shemitah. And the plant and the vegetables and so on that grow during that period of the Shemitah year have to be treated a certain way and have a special holiness. That's a law that's special to the land of Israel. It doesn't apply outside of the land of Israel.
How did they manage to do this before? Like,
it's really amazing. The idea is that you count on God to provide you with extra the year before, and you save it up, and it's quite something.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Thank you for that amazing question, Hamad, because I never heard of that thing before.
Yeah, Shemitah is amazing.
Amir Qadri is asking, what is Islam according to a Jew?
What is Islam according to a Jew? Well, I'm sure. Look, we have this joke that for every 2 Jews there are 3 opinions. So so I'm not sure you're going to find like the Jewish opinion on Islam. The understanding of the Rambam, who was Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, who was a 12th century Jewish thinker, he was a doctor in the court of Saladin, was that both Islam and Christianity.
Salahuddin, who conquered India.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Yeah. He was a doctor in his court and one of the great Jewish jurists ever, and also a Jewish philosopher. And what he said that Islam and Christianity were the means by which the basic important ideas of monotheism and ethics would be spread to the entire world.
Cool. I hope that answered your question. Osama bin Zahid is asking, always wanted to know about the little hat Jews have. Can we see your little hat?
Mine is not such a little hat. Mine is a big hat.
It's a topi.
Mine is a real topi.
I believe pop stars uses something like that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a pop star. just like in Islam, the different hats you wear often like identify what group you belong to. So you see, for example, you'll see some for like small, little, tiny knit ones. The little small knit ones. I think I have one here. I have a little kippah somewhere around here, right? The little. Yep. Hold on. I think I have one. Let me see. I'll show you if I have.
All right. Well, get me some water also, please, and yourself.
Okay. Let me see if I
So those who are watching, hi, assalamu alaikum. Those who are watching, I would really appreciate if you could share this video on your wall and ask people to come and ask more questions, because this is interesting. It's not every day I meet a comedian Jew at the same time, and who is very learned, and he is receptive of questions like this. It's very, very rare for me to have. It's a deeply honor for me to, meet Lee and giving him us so much time on answering these interesting questions. So please feel free to ask more questions and share this broadcast with your friends so we can have more viewers and more people can learn about these very, very basic questions what he's asking. And I'll try to make sure later on that we can also clip them. So come, here's a kippah. Hey. So do you have another one, hand woven one? This is a synthetic one. So this is like a topi, and you clip it on with the thing, and you have this big giant.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to give a little lesson.
Okay, cool.
Okay, you ready for it? Okay, here's a
I
lesson.
want to get some water for myself.
Okay.
Where do I do that?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
There's the glasses are right to your right. Up. Got it? Okay. That's just tap water. Okay. So, are we still on?
Yes.
Okay. So, some people, right? Some people wear little tiny kippahs. These are little tiny kippahs. Right? Just kind of barely fit on your head. I'm not sure where the custom came to wear such tiny ones. I'm not exactly sure where that came from. I think traditionally people wore larger ones. They can be made of different things, and so this one is sort of, if you see somebody wearing something like this, which is made out of suede, that's kind of modern Orthodox, I would say, or it could be conservative. If you see somebody wearing one that's kind of knit but also small, that tends to be a kind of more modern Zionist. It's called kippah sruga. It's kind of a more Zionist, nationalist-oriented kippah. This is one, something like this. It means they got it from somebody's bar mitzvah, right? And they kept it as a souvenir. You see one like this, it means they probably went to somebody's funeral, right? And they gave out cheap ones, and they have their own. Very often, during the week wear a larger velvet one. That's a typical Hasidic fashion. And on Shabbat, I wear this, which is called a shtreimel, which is a fur hat, which is our kind of festive hat. And all these things, and I think just as in Islam, different kinds of topis, right, tell you which group somebody belongs to. That's kind of how these kind of function in Judaism. Also, they kind of alert you to what group somebody belongs to. I'm a Breslover Chassid, and a lot of people, which is a certain brand of Judaism, and very often we wear these kind of white knit kippahs.
All right, we just marked the 510 mark of
510 to hear me talk about kippahs. Unbelievable.
Well, thank you everyone who was online at this late hour watching us, and thank you, Lee, for taking your time and educating these people.
And you guys need to get some sleep.
Rajit Kumar, I'm guessing, is from India, and he's asking, what do you think, sir, still is this dark era of life? What is the biggest success for a person according to religions of the modern peoples?
I think in this world right now, the biggest success is to be simply a decent person. I think I know it sounds like a terrible. It sounds
You sound like Edie.
Yeah, I sound like Edie. Thank God. If only I sounded like you do. No, I think just to be a simple human being is an amazing accomplishment. Now we're being sold all the time that we're supposed to be rich, and we're supposed to be beautiful, and we're supposed to be accomplished, and the career and all these other things, and people are trying to sell us all the time on all the things we need. So I think the most important thing is to know the difference between what you need and what you want, and to want things which are things which are really important, and that means your family, taking care of your family, taking care of other people, making sure that everybody around you has what they need, and looking for needs for other people. That's what it's about. Kindness.
You can wear that. Somebody's saying keep it on.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For a moment.
Yeah.
Like that? Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ranjit, for that question. Muhammad Asher is saying, needless to mention that the tension between ethnic groups does not prevail explicitly among their common people, be the Muslim, Jews, or the religious identity. However, it is a creation of the people sitting at the top of the game, be that among Muslims, Jews, or powerful Jews' power nucleus. My question is focused on to broaden my understanding about Zionists, and I have witnessed a number of marches and peaceful protest. This is like a commentary.
Yeah, I'm not sure. When we get to the question, let me know.
And the following is, can anyone join or become a Zionist?
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, it's like any other ideology. You can adopt the ideology and join groups, and yeah.
There is a group on Facebook called the Muslim Zionist. You should have a look at that. And there's a documentary on that subject where it's this guy who was created it. He's on my friend list. He's saying that Quran supports Zionism. So go ahead and join that group and check it out and learn more about what he's saying and what his point of view is. It's called the Muslim Zionist. And there's a website also, by the way. You can Google it. It's called the Muslim Zionist. Abdullah Chauhan is asking again, it's true Jews think they are the best creatures of God? That's a good question.
Yeah, no.
No?
No. I mean,
They're the selected people?
No. Okay, so I have a question. So if you are, let's suppose that you are you work in a factory, right? You work in a factory, and somebody says to you, your job is you're going to be working on a lathe. You're working on a machine. You're going to be making something. So you're selected from.
You want some water?
No, I'm fine. You're selected from all those people for a particular job. That doesn't make you better than anybody else. It just means that that's your job. So we were selected. We were chosen for a job, right? Which is the keeping of the Torah and performing of God's commandments as He communicated them to Moses. Other than that. There's nothing besides that. There's nothing that makes us special or different from anybody else. Without the Torah and without the mitzvot, without God's law and without God's commandments, we're exactly the same as anybody else. I'm just a human being, just like you are.
Thank you. Rehan Fasih is asking, you look quite peaceful in your demeanor.
Demeanor,
mm-hmm. Sorry, whatever that means. My English is really bad. MashaAllah. I wish you peace and happy life.
Thank you so much. I wish you also peace and happiness.
And then he continues to ask, is there a sect in Jews who consider all other non-Jewish created by God to be the subservients to Jews, as the sect believes they are the best of the creation?
No, it's like in any group. In any group, there are always going to be people in a group who feel that they need to bolster themselves up for whatever their ego issues are by feeling that they're superior to other people. Always. I mean, I'm sure that there are Pakistanis who think that somehow or another being Pakistani makes them better than everybody else. And then there are people who are Muslim, there are people who are Christian, and I'm sure, and there are people like that. And there are people also, and and can you find Jewish texts to support something like that? Of course you can. I'm sure you could find texts in the Quran to support ideas like that. You can find a text to support almost anything if you really want to. So, are there people who have opinions like that? There are people who have opinions like that, but that's not normative or normal Judaism.
Okay, Masood Ali says, I'm from Vancouver. Thank you for a good job of spreading love. And God bless you. Thank you, Masood.
Thank you so much.
Sher Ali Khan, we are here for fun. Okay? Thank you, Sher Ali Khan. I'm hoping you're
Glad you're having fun.
And I hope you share this video so on your wall.
With other people can have fun too.
Yeah, and we have 565 viewers.
565 people all having fun.
Yeah, there you go. Danish Ivan, why they're killing innocent Muslims?
I don't think. I hope that nobody is. I hope that nobody thinks they're going out to kill innocent people. You know, unfortunately, when people have conflicts with each other, sadly, very, very sadly, the distinction between who's innocent and who's not innocent gets blurred, and people stop caring. So my Jewish friends are going to say, "How come Muslims want to kill innocent Jews?" Right? I don't know why anybody wants to kill anybody who's innocent. I have no idea.
So Danish, I would say you can change that, and you can, as Lee was saying earlier, by saving one person, it's like saving the entire humanity, and by killing one person, it's like killing the entire humanity. So what you can do, Danish Awan, is go out there, and others like you can go out there and find people from Palestine, help them understand the world as you see it, and go find 5 Israeli friends through Facebook and help them understand the Muslim point of view. And if they can understand, they will not hurt anyone, so others can do the same, right? Okay. Ayaz Zafar, thanks for the interview. You're welcome, Ayaz. Send us a question. Laik is back. Laik, do you ever sleep, dude? Okay, who are wrong in case of Israel and Palestinian issue?
Who are wrong? The question is is anybody right? Listen, I would say that at this point, neither side has any understanding of the other side at all. So, I don't know who's, I'll sort out the right and wrong when people start to talk to each other and when they start to actually care about each other's interest. Then I'll worry about right and wrong. Right now, the wrong thing is that people don't communicate with each other and they don't know anything about each other and they just hate each other.
Like, if you look at the same thing between India and Pakistan about Kashmir is like, 5 million people, maybe 10 million people. There are 200 million in Pakistan, 1 billion in India, 1.2 billion in India. If everybody in India knew 5 people in Kashmir, the issues would go away. And the same thing goes, if everybody in Pakistan knew 5 Kashmiris and 5 Indians, the issues will just go away. Because it would not even matter. I mean, look at the past. There were so big quarrels in the world, they're just like even gone now. Look at the Europe. They were all fighting, killing each other. They're like living in one country now, using the same currency. It'll go away. You can make it happen. You, like, have the power to convince, to talk to human beings from other parts of the world. And you have changed your own life, and you have now 5,000 Pakistani friends. You're like probably the only Indian who has that. Give yourself some credit. And you are an amazing conversator. So start making these videos, get out of your box, talk to people, show them what is India like, to do those 5,000 people so they would go out and make more Indian friends, right? So they're all scared of Indians, and there's similar vice versa thing. Okay, Zahid Mahmood is saying, why they attacking Ramallah now? It's on TV live. Really?
I have no idea. I haven't been watching the news at all.
Really? Okay.
We don't have a TV, and
Yeah. I'm sorry, Rahim Mahmood. I hope my friends in Ramallah who are there right now are watching this, or I'll go ahead and ask them once we're done with this. There's nothing right now we can do about right now. What you can do is not lose your presence and just be at peace. If there is an attack going on, let's make sure it does not happen again. And you can help us by talking to more people in Israel and asking them the same exact question, not just asking me or him because we're very far away.
Right.
If everybody in Pakistan started everybody in Israel asking that question, that answer will look very different. If you start.
Although when it comes to military things, people don't know. It's like.
Well, they can convince. They're like, there are only 7 million people in Israel.
Yeah.
So if I keep telling Muslims that, hey guys, if 10 of you had adopted one Israeli, Judaism will just, I don't know what will happen to it, to be honest.
You're a secret agent.
I'm a secret agent. Shaving sides of the heads is also prohibited in Hadith.
Oh, that's interesting. I've heard that
of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
I have heard that. I've never seen the actual Hadith, but people have told me that.
Farouk, if you can send that Hadith to Lee.
I'd like to see it. I've heard that.
Sher Seher Yar Khan, we are here to worship God.
That's why we're here. You're right.
Kamran Qaim Khani, what's your belief about Prophet Muhammad? Kamran, we already answered that question. If you could go back and watch it later when it's done, you will see the answer. Imad Hassan, we need more tolerant people like you in the world. If anybody says anything offensive, I apologize in advance. They don't know any better. Imad Hassan, we were talking about this earlier. Everything starts with you. If you can become one, so it will be not just Lee and Rehan, it will be Imad also right there, who's doing the same thing. It starts with you, so you start becoming that person. Steal my 500 friends. Send me a message, hey, it's done, Rehan bhai, and then let me grow you, let me help you do this more. Who are wrong in case of Israel and Palestine?
We already talked about that.
I guess it's repeating itself.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Ali Waqar Tarar. Why, as a nation?
I want to answer. I want to say something about that question.
Which one?
So,
Sides?
who's wrong? So, if I said to you, you know what, the Israelis are wrong, right? Or I said, you know what, the Palestinians are wrong. Would that solve the problem? Would that be really a solution to the problem? I don't think it would be a solution to the problem. I guess we're being preempted.
Okay, whenever you're ready to stop, let me know.
Okay. Hey.
So, I will need your knowledge.
500 and...
Need my knowledge? Okay.
It's funny, I used to sell this thing. I was a sales manager.
I really like it.
So, we're saying goodbye because we're going to go deal with household things?
If it's the one.
Okay, so I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you very much. It was so great that, in the middle of the night, you guys were here. It's awesome.
590.
590 people. Unbelievable. I'm so glad you guys made it. And it's wonderful.
Thank you, Lee.